Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I want to welcome you all to what is now the fourth Emerging Growth Conference. I'm Anna Berry, and I'm going to be your host all day today. So today, a lot of you may noticed that we are broadcasting on a brand new, fully customized platform. So a little bit of changes. For those attending, this is a live continuous event, and it's beginning now, and we're going to run until 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So when we switch to the next company, you're going to see a black screen for just a brief moment. Don't go anywhere. It's just us moving on, all right? So stay there with us. Now, if you do experience downtime for more than a minute or two, just refresh your browser and everything should work properly again. Plus, if you are watching from an Apple device, you must hit the play button to start the session, maybe even each time. So, as always, we have an exciting list of companies and a wide range of growth sectors presenting to you today. Our previous conferences and all conferences to come will be uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. So, you can see all of those videos in the past at the youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. During each company's presentation, you, the attendees, can submit questions through the webinar module. The presenters may attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of the presentation. So today, we have 10 companies presenting, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first. Joining us, Net Savings Link. It trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol NSAV. It's a cryptocurrency, blockchain, and digital asset technology company. We have Ewan, CEO of NSAV, and James Yao, CEO and founder of Riper. James, I see you. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on here. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Glad to be here with you, and we're looking forward to hearing your presentation. And whenever you're ready, you can take it away, James.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for joining. We're having this conversation online, but I'm in Hong Kong right now. So I'd like to introduce you to Riper. So a little bit about my background is I come from consulting, and I've been working in agriculture for about 12 years, during which time we built systems, we set up farms, we set up facilities, and so forth. We've done wholesale trading. And during that time, the technology didn't catch up, but there were a lot of pain points in agriculture. And one of the pain points that kept on coming up over and over again was farmers weren't getting paid. So every time that there was an agriculture project, systems, people would get paid for their systems. Seeding companies would be paid for their seeds, and nutrient companies, irrigation companies, and so forth. But the farmers weren't being paid accordingly, or getting late payments. Myself included, owning 50 farms at one point. And during of which we decided, all right, there has to be a change. Is there a change? There wasn't. We went to banks, and we found out majority of the bottlenecks were collateralized. They had to have collateral. They had to put the farm on collateral, the invoice on collateral, just to get a loan to, make ends meet. So we decided to we started developing our own algorithm, and we called it Riper. So Riper initially started off as RPR, repeatable, predictable, and reliable. And the I and the E represents investments and environmental. The next page. So who we are and what is Riper? Well, the main thing that Riper is our first priority is making sure that farmers get paid first. Now, how do we do that? We'll break it down into 3 different sections. 1, there's a buyer. 2, there's a farmer or supplier. And 3, we have fractionalized funders. That's the platform that we're looking at. Let me try to get it. Sorry, this is my first time working on this. So you're on this page. Let's see. All right. So how does each party benefit? Well, for funders or buyers, what we decided was when I'm purchasing products from a farmer, obviously I want my products in top shape quality. and consistency and so forth. But I'm running a business. I want to make sure that, I can I pay you later. That's not actually ideal for farmers, but it is ideal for a purchaser. Now, for a farmer, we're looking for they're just, I pass the product, it goes on the plane or goes on the boat. I give you an airway bill, I should get paid. But that's not the case. In the 12 countries that we've worked in, it seems like anywhere between 180 days to even almost a year, some late payments, which affects their account receivable, which affects their cash flow. This is a very big problem. And because of this, not a lot of people want to invest into agriculture or farming in general, just because the numbers don't look as nice. Aside from your commodity crops, we're talking perishables right now. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to switch that up. We wanted to change that. Now, a little bit about my background here in Hong Kong. I have an association that has 2,700 farmers. Current purchasing power, we have about 500 buyers. I have a wholesale company in Hong Kong that distributes to 5 countries. A lot of our farms are located in Australia. We do about 65 million kilos a year, and during which a lot of issues happen just because it becomes the farmer's issue. A lot of things that the problem that we encounter was a lot of farmers came back and said, we could do this, but we just don't have enough money. And we tried getting a loan, we couldn't do this. So again, the birth of Riper, the idea, the concept that we put together was, okay, what if we actually paid farmers first? Now, that's a lot of credit risks. So we looked at microfinancing and fractionalized funders, which is quite mature right now. On the buyer side, what we want to incentivize buyers to use our platform was, what if we gave them 180-day interest-free credit, paying the farmer 80% of the invoice within 48 hours, and giving fractionalized funders an interest rate that would actually be, I guess, attractive. And that's what we were working with. So we worked with some banking companies, and we worked with our actuarial science team, and we worked with an insurance company to structure how this would actually work. We got that through. We're working through the alpha right now, and that's what I wanted to share with you. We'll just jump a little bit further. Sorry, bear with me. So an interface of purchase agreements. I'm just going to jump to the big slide so everyone can see this. All right. So we have the 3 major parties on there. They set up their profiles. We try to do that user interface within 1 minute. And then within that period of time, what we're doing is discounting invoices. So there are similar platforms out there, but the difference is we don't actually need to market. We already have an ecosystem. We have 5 countries: Australia, Japan, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Indonesia. Well, actually more than that now, that we're actually currently trading and actively working with. So we already, within our ecosystem, we already have the buyers, we already have the farmers. Now what we're trying to do is implement and create this platform so that they can actually do this. Now, one of the things that I want to introduce was, because different countries have different regulations, we had a lot of kickback when it came to tokenization, especially in Hong Kong, with certain banks and so forth. So what we wanted to do was separate this ecosystem from the token platform first. So using a centralized finance, we decided to go with QLDB, Quantum Ledger, which is on AWS. This way, they can actually see everything is much more transparent. It works like a blockchain, and the regulators here just don't give us so much issues. During which, then we have that tokenization platform what we wanted to create was an ecosystem. Current business model that has turnover, that has evaluation, that has revenue, and more importantly, we're able to show that there's consistent transactions. Now, because of these transactions, obviously, we put together an incentive for the buyers and the funders as well as the farmers. Each time that an invoice completes, that we give them, or through the platform, they hold or they receive tokens. These tokens are set. They hold them for about 12 months. This creates a strong ecosystem for the tokenized platform below. So similar to like how people currently purchase stocks or purchase equity, we want to make sure that there was a viable business model above, that people could actually see that there was transactional services. Because of the use of blockchain or the QLDB, they could see airway bills, which are every time that we get an invoice, when we ship it, we get an airway bill, clears customs, so the transaction is complete. We want to show this, but more importantly, we actually want to show a little bit more than that. So over the last 3 years, we've implemented sensory systems on each farm to show who's actually working on what, who's harvesting, what product is being allocated, where is it going, and so forth. And if you look over here, sorry about this. That's the platform. Yeah. So what makes us different from everyone else is because we actually, we know what it takes. We already do this business. It's just going to make everybody's life easier. Especially toward the farmers, especially toward the buyers as well, just because of the certain situation, excluding this pandemic. People need to run a business and they need to free up their account receivables and cash flow. And we saw that this was a platform that could do so. Now, the major risk to this platform for us was because we're paying the farmers first 80%, so we're discounting their invoice. So the major risk for us would be credit risks. We've identified 3 insurance partners already that would actually underwrite 50% of our credit risks. That actually obviously helps us quite a lot. But we also decided that in order for the buyers to actually benefit by using this platform, they're going to have to put a 20% deposit. And after that 20% deposit, 80 days later, 180 days later, they get to, then they pay up. Now, from here, we have the team. I'm just being time conscious right now. Let's just jump to here. So right now we have the framework, we have the ecosystem. What we're raising for right now is the beta version. Beta version will be about 6 months away, and during which time our businesses are going to actually be using the proof of concept stage. We're going to be making sure that we iron out the kinks before we go to that second round. Just to give you an understanding how big our ecosystem is. So one buyer usually has 2 key clients. Key clients to us are active buyers on a day-to-day basis, like your restaurants, your cafes, and so forth. And then they would have anywhere between 25 to 30 stable clients, which purchase 2 to 3 times a week. And then you have 50 seasonal or spot buyers, which purchase 30 times a year, like for example cherry season or certain types of seasonal crops. Now, one client would easily have 82 clients. Well, one buyer would have 82 clients. Now, each invoice, if we average it out, say 8,000 US, that's a pretty significant number when you add it all up. And that actually are the numbers that we're actually working on. Even if we do a deep discount, which we did, if I have 500 of these buyers on the platform, we'd be generating a revenue close to, I think, 53, no, 20, sorry, 26 billion in revenue each year, just with 500 buyers. And that is one of the reasons why we've wanted to partner with NSAV, because they already have a platform. One of the things that they were focusing on was cannabis, and that's another derivative product that we actually do grow out of Australia, that we've been looking into as well. That would definitely help the farmers out. I think right now, I'm just being time sensitive. I think it's probably better if I just throw it back to everyone online and start asking questions. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely. We do have a few questions. Let's see. So do you anticipate NSAV moving to OTCQB soon?
So NSAV's platform would actually, I need Yoon on there. Is Yoon on here yet?
He might not be on. So if you can't answer any of these questions, that's fine. We will send these to you and him, and then he can answer them directly to the people watching. So
actually, to give a little bit of a background is Riper's ecosystem is supported, well, the tokenization will be supported by NSAV at the current moment. So anything relating to NSAV, I would have to direct that question back to their CEO, Yoon.
Okay. Well, what about how long after the beta to the full release?
Probably anywhere between 3 to 6 months thereafter.
All right.
We just have to make sure that the volume and the transactions, because one thing that's very different is we're dealing with perishables. They are transactional every day. So it's very transactional.
Someone wants to know a little bit more about the cannabis company in the Netherlands.
That will have to be with Yoon as well.
Okay. What percentage of an equity stake does NSAV hold in Virtual Broker?
Again, anything with NSAV at the moment would have to be directed to Yoon.
Okay, no problem. Well, we'll just let everyone that's watching this get all those questions and submit them, and then we will send those to you. Someone does say you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. So
thank you.
We do have about 10 more minutes with you as a presenter. So if you would like to have some closing thoughts or tell people where they can find you or some updates, please, this is your time.
Okay. Well, we're setting up the website. It will be live in mid-April, riper.io. It will have more information on there. Also on LinkedIn, you can find me and I can answer as much questions as possible. Full name, James Yao. I'm pretty sure you can search for it. With regards to how I guess most of the users or viewers are all over global. Just to give you an idea of where we are in Asia, tokenization, blockchain, and also crypto is very, very hot over here. But at the same time, we're getting a lot of pushbacks from regulators. So just to share my experience, we tried opening a few bank accounts, and when they saw that our presentation had tokenization and so forth, or even crypto, they actually told us that we couldn't open an account. Now, this is an issue that I think will pass, but it's also a very big issue if, like, I'm a true believer that this is just one of the pain points of deregulation. But if we look at our demographics and look at our ecosystem, a lot of the people right now, they just want a solution. So what I'm talking about are farmers or in the agriculture space. What we tried to do was simplify a platform where it was similar when Apple came out with their phone with that one push button. We wanted to make it that simple for them. We wanted to make sure that how to receive funds, how to actually do more different types of businesses. expand their global reach across different borders, that we could do so. Actually, sorry, I forgot to share the video. How do I go back on this? Sorry, how do we get out of this? Can someone share the video? I'm not sure how.
Can you find the overlay videos tab up there above you?
It's disappeared.
Well, let's see.
It was there. Yeah, it's not there anymore. Apologize.
Agriculture is the backbone of society worldwide. It's a key industry that humans rely on for survival. For decades, independent farmers have not been looked after financially, and many struggle to make ends meet. With an ever-growing population, we need as many farmers producing food as possible, and we must work harder to incentivize them to stay committed to their trade. Something is seriously wrong if those who put food on our tables have a hard time getting by. We recognize that something has to change, and we have an idea. Can we live in a world where farmers' income becomes a priority? Their healthy cash flow should lead to higher yields and increase our chances of having a stable food supply for the global population. Riper is a technological ecosystem to facilitate putting farmers first. Conventionally, farmers can only access funding through debt financing. Our solution helps farmers get out of the debt cycle with priority payment, so they will no longer need to borrow from banks. A farmer accesses the decentralized finance platform to seek a buyer for their crop. A buyer is matched to the farmer's offer, and a smart contract is formed on a blockchain. The buyer is also granted a generous interest-free credit period of 180 days on the purchase. In the interim, fractionalized funders finance the upfront payment to the farmer at a discount in exchange for a competitive interest return. Not only this, farmers will also be able to access a borderless market, find buyers from overseas, and extend their market reach. The world needs to change for the better. Join Riper and help make a difference.
I believe the video played, so it was
Okay.
beautiful about Riper. So you can finish up now. Thanks for bearing with us.
Thank you. Again, what makes us different, why we believe in this is we already, this is our business. This is what we want to do. We just want to address the pain points of the business. And I think the technology is actually where it needs to be. And decentralization of this is much needed in this industry because it's an industry that people, it's just no one can really help them out except us. So that's what we're hoping to do, and hope enough people believe in us to help make this change.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today and a great presentation. And again, know that everyone that's watching this, they can submit all their questions through this portal, and we will get all of these questions to you and to Ewan, who didn't get to log on, but we have a few more conferences, so maybe you guys can come back and join us. We really appreciate the presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us, and see you soon.
Thank you so much. All right.